There are some common dealer fees you should not be paying. When you're ready to buy a new vehicle and it's time to get the paperwork together, and you look at that paperwork, you're quite surprised. What are all these additional fees on my purchase contract? We agreed to a specific price. What the heck's going on? Well, there are some fees that you must pay, and there are other fees you can completely remove from the contract. The question is, which fees are mandatory and which fees can you remove? Here's how to avoid those car buying fees. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix. If this is your first time to the channel, we give you more than car reviews and first looks at new vehicles. We give you car smarts because we believe that knowledge is power. Subscribe and click that little bell so you don't miss anything. Knowing which fees to expect and what fees you can challenge makes a huge difference to the bottom line. And this is why it's important to know the fees and what they mean, knowing the reason for these fees and how to help you save money. Destination charges. Your car has to be made at a factory. From that factory to the dealership, there's a fee, and the dealership asks you to pay for that. That is normal. The price is on the window sticker, and the automaker makes it standard for each model and for each make, so that's important to know that, and it's a fee you cannot avoid. An easy way to know what the legitimate fee is for that transportation fee, to make sure they didn't pad it in any way, is to look at the window sticker, also known as a Monroney. Doc fees or documentation fees. Doc fees are simply a profit center for dealerships. It covers them moving the paperwork from one side of the desk to the other, and it's all the dealer handling of the paperwork. Some states limit this amount, and some states don't. Some dealers don't have it at all, but generally it's between $100 and $500. But be sure to question that amount and what's included. State sales tax. Unless you live in a state where there's no sales tax, then you don't pay sales tax, but you need to pay for it at the time of purchase in all the other states. However, if you're buying a car out of state, make sure to let them know that you're not paying their tax and your tax, just the tax where you live and where the vehicle is going to be used. Make sure to remind the dealer of that. It's important, and they'll collect the money and send it to your state. Title, license plate, and registration fees, also known as tag fees. The dealership will probably have a great relationship with the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, and they'll be able to get that handled right away, even on a weekend, because they typically have extra paperwork and extra plates available to do the processing for you, and it'll save you some time as well. All of these tips and a lot more are in my book, Lauren Fix's Guide to Loving Your Car Makes a Great Gift. There's a link down below. You can get it online, and really, it's great for new drivers as well. Here are some fees that you should never pay, and don't be fooled into spending more money than you need to. These are fees you should never have to pay. Dealer preparation fees or prep fees are similar to a delivery charge. That is included in the price of the vehicle. Don't let a dealership say, oh, we're gonna take all the plastic off and all of this and we have to charge you. That's an additional expense that's on the dealer. You should never pay a prep fee. Fabric protection. A little bit of Scotchgard goes a long way to cover your seats. Or if you're really concerned, get seat covers. But don't waste the money on Scotchgarding. It will not make a difference because the new materials are much easier to clean, and you can go to an auto parts store and get all the cleaning materials you could possibly want. Paint protection is very popular these days, especially on more pricey cars. I put it on my vehicles as well. It's a transparent film or a process called OptiCoat, which I prefer, and that protects your paint. It's less expensive actually to go to a detail shop and have it done, and a new car's paint should have the protection of the warranty if rust occurs, typically 100,000 miles, so pass on that. Rustproofing and undercoating, that is so old school unless you are driving through salt piles. If you're driving up in the northern half of the country and you're worried about the undercarriage of the car, that's fine. Run it through a car wash once a week. But no mechanic likes working on a vehicle that has rustproofing on it because you can't access fuel lines, braking components, and computers. It's a mess. Pass on that one. Vehicle identification number etching. That's when they take the vehicle identification number and they etch it into the glass in certain parts of your car for security. If you're worried about your vehicle being stolen, that's why you have insurance. And if you want to do it later, collision shops can put it on for you and it'll be a lot less expensive, or you can go back to that dealer. Advertising fees or something that the dealership may try to pass on to you. It costs them money to advertise the vehicle in the dealership. You shouldn't be paying for that. That's the cost of doing business. And for them to add that to the final paperwork is unacceptable. And if you see that, make sure to negotiate that with a sales manager. If they say that's the way we do business, maybe you shouldn't be doing business with them. Make sure to push back on that one. Nitrogen fees. The dealer will offer to fill your tires up with pure nitrogen gas and replace it from the air. That's supposed to give you more life out of the tires, but it really doesn't make a difference. We use that on race cars because it makes more sense. But on a street car, you're not going to see the difference. And some dealers can charge up to $200. That's crazy. Pass on that one. Use regular air. A reconditioning fee. If you see that on a purchase of a used vehicle, you need to be very concerned. This is not something you should be paying. The dealer will tell you, well, we had to prep the car, we got it at an auction, we had it at a trade-in, it needed new tires or a detail or mechanical work or an inspection. That's not your problem. That should be figured into the cost of the vehicle, and that is up to them to take on that expense. You should never pay that fee. And if the dealer is pushing back by saying, that's how we do business, again, like I said, don't ever be afraid to walk away, and I talk about that in my book. I constantly say, never be afraid to walk away. This cost is incurred by them and never by the customer. The bottom line, if you're not sure about a particular fee, ask. An honest salesperson will explain it to you clearly and concisely so you understand the fee and why it's necessary. Can you negotiate that fee? Oh, yes, you can. Absolutely. Sales managers do not expect you to pay full retail and buy all these options that you could add on to your sale. This tactic to boost the dealer profit works on a lot of people, but you don't have to fall prey to that. This is why I'm giving you Car Smarts, because if you aren't interested in that accessory, that option, negotiate that off the price of the vehicle. It can be difficult if you don't like to negotiate, but this is where you really have to stand strong and never be afraid to walk away. Get that price that you negotiated. We just updated our website, Car Coach Reports. It's available in English and Spanish. We also have some new contributors and some information you won't see necessarily on our videos, so make sure to check that out. If you got value from this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. But if I didn't answer a fee question you have, or you have additional questions, put it in the comment down below and I will answer it so we can all have car smarts. Follow me on all forms of social media at Lauren Fix, and I always post additional information that is not in any of the videos, because if you want to stay on top of things, you want to follow me on social. Also, check out the new podcast, Total Car Score, with Carl Brower and Javier Mota. It's on all platforms. We're having a lot of fun. We hope you'll join us. Thank you so much for watching Car Coach Reports, and we'll see you next time.